Hello and welcome to Beasts of Fortune. If you would like to check out the game, there is a link in the description. This is kind of like Mount and Blade if you put it into a roguelike auto-battler sort of, sort of shell. So what we're going to do is going to start a new game, and as you can see here, we can actually create our very own mercenary band. We're going to be calling ourselves Reformia. Yes, of course we are. And we're going to just pick this little icon here. This is what we're going to look like when we're traveling around the map. These are the fighters that we are going to have access to, and you could see here the various stats that these guys are going to scale with the most. You can re-roll them as well. So what about if we re-roll a little bit? Shall we re-roll a little bit? So let's re-roll. Let's make it so that we have decent immunity, and yeah, let's go with that. Okay, and then here we go. Review outlaw gangs you'll face. So we're going to be facing all of these. You can see exactly what they're good at. You can see what they're going to be potentially bad at, maybe, and we're also going to be moving on. So these are our stats. It's all randomized, as you might expect. It's procedurally generated for the most part, and so I think recruiting is really good here. I'd like to get really good medicine. I'd like to get really good sparring and rallying. I think this is actually looking pretty good right now. Pathfinding seems nice too. Planning, as you can see right here. Gain XP from traveling near your cargo limit. This actually seems pretty cool. You know what? Let's do it. Alright, so there we go. It is now done. This is the map, and there is a town. So what is the goal in this game? Well, the goal in this game is to get an extremely high score, or to get as high of a score as you possibly can. And you gain perks and you gain power by gaining score. So as time goes on, as you gain score, you're going to be getting more perks, you're going to be becoming more powerful, you're going to be able to fight harder and harder opponents. So you can see here, look at this, what we have right here. Tall Tales act as if tier 1, win battles. Yeah, so obviously we need to win battles, right? So we need to win battles. Let's try and do this. This is a goal. So as you see here, score gets you perks and is also the victory condition. The main way to earn score is by completing goals, which is exactly what we have here. Every town has a random goal you can embrace. Each embraced goal raises the cost of all future goals. Most goals come with a handicap that stays in effect as long as the goal is not completed. Ask yourself if you can handle it before embracing. In-progress goals cannot be dropped. So in other words, you need to be very sure that you want to take this. As you can see, the negative effect is Tall Tales act as if tier 1. I actually don't know what Tall Tales are, so just bear that in mind. I am not very familiar with the game. I've only done a handful of runs, and most of the runs I've done didn't really go that well, so just bear that in mind. Anyway, we're going to be getting a bunch of these guys. Yep, there we go. Just going to be recruiting a massive amount of Jackal Aimsworn, and we'll recruit some of these guys too. Most people, as far as I can tell, don't actually take any money. Yeah, they don't take any money. They just literally give you a bit more of a wage, I think. I think you have to pay them a little bit more. And as you can see, there are some loiter actions that you can do. So for example, you can wander the streets, you can gain a trade tip, you can join a maze competition to gain skill experience, you're going to lose some fighters and you're going to gain some gold as well. Gain a trade tip, gain a travel effect, gain cargo. That sounds pretty good actually. Mineral pigments in severe excess in Makama. Now bear in mind, you cannot see the whole map and you cannot scroll the map as far as I am aware. So that is going to potentially cause things to be somewhat difficult, maybe, we'll see. So deliver the cargo to another town. So that's what we're going to try to do. So what we want to do is we want to go to Fala. We're going to go to Fala. Let's see if we can actually make that work. Yeah, that's going to be, in my opinion at least, I think that's going to be extremely difficult. Fala, I don't know where this is. Because if you take a look and you see the map, this is the map right here, the closer you are to the center, the easier the fights are going to be. So if you are, if you so desire, you should basically just stick around here as much as possible, and then you'll probably be okay. But you can see here we are now disorganized for a little bit of time. There are some opponents. Oh, look at how many people we have in comparison to the enemy. Oh, wow, these guys are literally just going to get absolutely destroyed right here. Yep, boom, look at that. That was an easy mode victory there. That was absolutely insane. And every single time you end a battle, you're going to be disorganized, which is going to slow you down by 30%. And then once it's gone, then you're going to move at full once more. Now, we should probably go over here. Let's try and fight these guys. Yeah, there we go. I'm basically just trying to get into as many battles as I can at the moment. Bear in mind that if you are defeated, that is not an instant game over. Just bear that in mind. That's not an instant game over. What will happen is you will enter a vulnerability state. And then if you are attacked for a second time, then you lose, then you're going to be done. Then that's a game over. Then that's a full game over right there. So just be very, very careful about that. Ah, yes. We also had a random event just now that made me vulnerable. So I'm actually vulnerable for another 7 in-game days, which is pretty significant, as you might expect. And I have no idea what this is. This is a camp right here. I've never gone into a camp before. Do I want to go into a camp? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, as you can see, this is a goal here. We have 18 out of 20 times left on that. We have perks here as well, as you can see, and we don't have any at the moment. You will collect 3 different flavors of memories during your travels. The more of each you have, the higher your tier. Many perks scale with these tiers. The choice of which type affects any given perk is rerolled each time the perk is drawn. And then also, obviously, you can take a look at your stats. Once again, you can see your potential. The gray line is your potential, and everything else, obviously, you know, that's how that is. And then we also have contracts. Obviously, you can take a look at those. You can take a look at your fighters, and you can see their potential by the gray bars here. And then, of course, you can take a look at your cargo, and you can indeed discard cargo however you so desire, because obviously there may be cases where you want to discard cargo if you're moving too slowly, which I think is sometimes a good idea. Now, I have no idea where Fala is, unfortunately, because it doesn't tell you. Yeah. Doesn't tell you where it is. So basically the best course of action is to kind of play the game. Yes, it's to play the game and to figure out where all the towns and things are and try to remember where they all are, and then you can have a grand old time going to that place as soon as it's available, as soon as you have the ability to do so. And indeed, wow, we're doing so much damage right here. Wow, look at that. That was a massive victory there. Absolutely fantastic. And did I just do the goal? No, almost. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no, I need 17 more times. I actually thought that we did it. Oh, well, never mind. Yeah, as you can see, though, we are at 99 out of 100 score. Reaching each threshold lets you pick a new perk. Yeah, I'm extremely excited about that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to walk around for a little bit of time because I have 13 out of 15 troops ready for battle here. So I'm just going to walk around. And I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to go into that little camp over there, but obviously my forces are not yet ready to do that. We might be ready now. There's a little bit of something there. I'd like to get into another town if at all possible. That would be pretty fantastic. If I could get into another town, then we'd be in a pretty decent position. Oh, friendly merchant. Friendly merchant. Hello. Can I speak to you, sir? I would like to speak to you. It doesn't seem like I can. He's too quick. Classic Mount and Blade experience right there. Caravan's being too fast. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to catch up with him. Alright, well, that's okay. We don't need to worry about that too badly. I'm actually wondering whether I want to go back to the town that I was in beforehand, but no, I don't think we will. Okay, so here we go. We've got a load of people right now. We have so many troops. I can only hope that this is going to make a big difference to us. Okay, come on out. Yes, yes. Oh, massive damage right there. Absolutely fantastic. And there you go. We have a new perk available. So as you can see, this is what we have. Okay, so what do we want? Do we want times gold from courier contracts? Do we want an increase to boar roughnecks, upkeep from mementos? So actually not an increase, a decrease in that. And then +1 mosquito thugs available for recruitment. Well, none of this is actually super amazing. I will take that one, though, the increased gold, if I can actually do it, because let's face it, I am having a hard time finding these cities. And the map is pretty large, as you can quite clearly tell, so it is not super easy to find things. And I can only hope Fala. We need to find Fala, right? So yeah, let's see if we can actually find it. Maybe I'm going to be lucky. Alright, so we're going to be trying out a camp. Oh wow, let's not do that. Okay, yeah, that was way too many people right there. That was hilarious. Okay, yeah, certainly not. Oh, there's, oh, never mind. This is the city that I literally came from. Yeah, I decided that I would actually go back here because I was actually losing way too many people. So here we go. Gather cargo from world finds. Oh, that's actually really, really nice. I think I can probably do that. Let's recruit a couple of people first. Let's get some. Let's get a snail scout or two, and then we'll be pretty happy with that. I'm going to take the contract. Well, the goal, shall we say? Going to take the goal. Defeat enemy bands within the region. Lord's Mire. I actually don't know where Lord's Mire is, but I'm happy to take the contract and try it. We'll see if we can maybe make it work. What is this? Gain skill XP. There we go. None available to receive healing. It worked. Okay. Sick or injured are healed. Yeah, fighter sickened. No, we don't really want to do that. Gain skill XP. You gain skill XP. Yeah, we'll do that. Hygiene level increased. Gain gold. There we go. 210 gold. And then we can also go here to sell our aromatics. And we're going to sell some aromatics, and we're going to be gaining a little bit of money from that. Unfortunately, we can only sell predetermined pieces of loot. We're not able to sell everything, unfortunately. So you need to find the specific town that is going to allow you to sell that kind of loot. You know, whatever it is, whatever you have in your cargo hold. Now, unfortunately, I am looking to potentially, I think there's going to be a failure in our future here, because I'm having some issues coming up with the gold, as you can see right here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to prevail for the remainder here. If I can find Lord's Mire, I'll be really, really happy. Here's another little bit of loot that I can pick up. There we go. And let me actually just see something real fast. We need... Yeah, we need... Look at that. 50 times! Wow! Okay, that's actually kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. Okay, yeah, unfortunately we're having a couple of our troops become sickened. And they're actually succumbing to their wounds, which is really, really bad. I actually wonder, I'm actually in a terrain, I'm in toxic terrain at the moment. Ah, well, that's unfortunate, isn't it? Yes, that is very unfortunate indeed. Okay, there we go. Okay, not too bad. We got out of there. I did not realize that that was actually toxic terrain. I should have known, because this icon down here indicates the terrain toxicity, so actually good to know. If your fighters have immunity, then you're not going to have so many issues with that. Oh no! Okay, should I try to flee from this? This is going to be a big problem. Yeah, I'm going to try it. Okay, we're going to try it. It's pretty even, so we might be able to achieve victory dependent on the types of units that the enemy has available. It looks as though we're actually doing okay at the moment, at the top at least. At the top, we're actually winning. At the bottom, we are losing dramatically. So this is... Oh dear. Yes, we're dead. Yeah, we are definitely dead. But that's okay. You know why that's okay? Because we're only going to be vulnerable for a little amount of time. I am in the toxic terrain, though, which is obviously not exactly great. I would like to go back to the town, though, because I still have cargo, and I might be able to make it there and actually sell before the weekly wage comes in and actually bankrupts us. Let's hope that we're allowed to do that. There we go. Nice. Okay, so we can actually trade. Yes, we can trade loads of stuff. This is great. Look at this. Loads and loads of things. This is wonderful. Okay, so we're getting 551. Now we have 721 total, which is going to allow us to remain alive for a little bit longer. Obviously, it's not going to do a massive amount, because let's face it, it isn't. But it's going to do a decent thing. Okay, so we can win against Ash Fiends. Wow, okay, yeah. That's probably... I don't know. I'm not sure if we can even do that, but yeah, well, we'll see. What about this? Gain skill XP. There we go. Actions reset sooner. That's pretty nice. Sick or healed or injured. Yeah, we'll do that. One healed. And yeah, I think we're pretty good here. Okay, so let's continue trying to fight. Oh, wow. I'm gonna run away. I'm gonna run away from that. That is pretty damaging. We could go over here, try to get that. Oh, new perk available. Nice. Okay, here we go. +1 bare iron walls available for recruitment. Heal up to 10 fighters upon entering a guild town. Resets with town actions. That's actually really, really nice. You can increase your hygiene experience as well if we want to do that. Yeah, you know what? Let's do the hygiene experience. That is actually going to be quite useful if I actually take you over to hygiene here. Raises the health, resilience, and immunity stats up to their unit-specific potential. Gain XP each time your fighters are downed in battle or sickened from toxicity. So technically, I could go into the toxicity area here and basically level up my my hygiene levels if we wanted to do that. Obviously, I don't have to do that. It's not really necessary, but you know, still. This is, funnily enough, this is actually the longest I have ever lived in this entire game. This game, I have never been able to survive as long as I have. And the way that you win the game, by the way, is by surviving until day 1500, as far as I'm aware. It's already been day 125, so you can kind of imagine how much you need to survive. So it's pretty, yeah, there's a lot of survival to do here, and a sudden inspiration, very nice. But yeah, there's a lot to do here and a lot to be very, very careful of. And for me personally, I think it's absolutely huge amounts of fun. Unfortunately, I just suck. I'm not very good at these kinds of games, unfortunately. Even though I really enjoy them. As you can quite clearly tell, we are going to get absolutely murdered here. I could have run away, technically. I could have run away from this, but of course, bear in mind, as I said to you before, even if we lose, it isn't actually a defeat. It just, you know, takes us to some alternate area, and then we're able to, you know, recover. It is going to take 15 days, as you can see. It will take 15 days. We are vulnerable, as you see, game over if defeated. So we have to be a little bit careful about that, but hopefully I'm going to be okay. We're leveling up a pretty significant amount as well, which I very much appreciate. Unfortunately, it is going to be... Oh dear. Oh no. We could technically get rid of our cargo. Let's get rid of some cargo here. Just a little bit. There we go. Am I traveling faster than these? Nope. Oh, wait. Their combat skill is not that good. We might have the play here. We might have... No, never mind. We're not doing enough damage, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping that we would do more damage, but there you go. That's the defeat. That is the game over there. And there you go. Look, this is a personal best. My final score, a lot of the other times, by the way, instead of it being 231, was 23. Yes, or 26, or whatever it was. But yeah, you can see all your stats right here, which I think is actually really, really cool. I love seeing exactly what happened, and we can maybe improve next time we go in. And as you can see, that's it. That's the game. That's the gameplay loop. So you can then start again, and you can choose a different icon if you want to. You can obviously re-roll the fighter types anytime you like, and there's so many different ones available. And you can go with whatever you'd like. Same thing with the enemies as well as the stats. You can see here the stats vary dramatically too. Sparring, for example, I think this would probably be amazing if you have a bunch of melee-based units. Obviously, there are going to be stats that are much better than others. Like, for example, I think that medicine is probably really good, as well as rallying. I think both of those are going to be really, really good. Very, very powerful. And otherwise, apart from that, sparring, of course, and range finding. Sparring is very good for melee damage, then range finding is very good for ranged damage. So both types of units are going to be extremely, extremely good. Anyway, if you would like to check out Beasts of Fortune, it is currently 30% off, and I'd highly recommend checking it out. It is made by one person, as far as I'm aware, and it has that Mount and Blade feel, you know? It has that Mount and Blade feel, because obviously what you're trying to do is you're trying to survive. You're doing the gameplay loop that Mount and Blade has to a certain degree, where you're going into battles, you're recruiting units, you're trading things. Obviously, if I could find a town, then that would be a lot better, wouldn't it? Yeah, that would be a lot better for me. Anyway, there is a link in the description if you want to check it out. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.